Welcome to Module 2 of the Idaho Partners for Good onboarding process. Our mission is to reinvent how people give, share their expertise, and do greater good together. Why? Because nonprofits feed, they heal, shelter, educate, inspire, enlighten, and nurture people of every age, gender, race, and socioeconomic status. They help us and our communities and families thrive. Our vision is to develop stronger, healthier, better equipped nonprofits so they do more of what they do best. We're building a statewide movement committed to using an organizational effectiveness approach to giving because nonprofits need unrestricted funds and technical assistance in order to thrive. We ourselves are a social enterprise, which essentially means that we raise operating funds in a diversity of ways, including our consulting practice called the Impact Team. So this learning module outcomes are around understanding why and how we're different, our code of ethics, and a little bit about our tribe culture. So why we're different? Well, our current philanthropic model really doesn't work very well. It actually can be a cause for starving the nonprofits that you really want to support, given the way that the current model operates and the approach it uses of essentially funneling all the funds into services, programs, rather than allowing for operations and administration, which is really where you get the biggest bang for the buck, is to ensure that the operations and infrastructure are strong and healthy. The other ways that we're different is the largest transfer of wealth from the baby boomer generation to the generations behind them is occurring. And we need to help younger generations get a bigger bang for their investments. Why? Because younger generations really want to make a tangible difference beyond just writing a check. And then the other way that we're different is we've built a social enterprise to ensure our own sustainability. So we lead by example. So we have created diverse revenue streams, including the Impact Team. So this is a picture of some of our rock stars currently involved in Idaho Partners for Good. And one of the ways that we're different is we actually get to do the work. So we have 3 keys to strategic charitable giving that we promote and support. The first one is to get proximate. The second is to be accountable. And the third is to be reflective. So as a tribe, we do all 3 of these things. We get proximate, which means that we connect and build our knowledge of our grantee so that we can build a high level of trust. Being accountable means that we've built in lots of ways to evaluate what we do and how we do it. Being reflective means we have to stop to examine what's working and what's not. If something's not working, then we have to stop doing it and find other solutions. We pretty much evaluate everything so we can tell a compelling story. Other ways that we're different is we're flipping the philanthropic model for more impact. As wise stewards of resources, we have to know whether it's a good investment or not. The current philanthropic model can't tell us whether the $6 billion of revenue annually being received by Idaho nonprofits is doing what it's supposed to do. Our organizational effectiveness approach evaluates our work with grantees continually. The use of human-centered design. We don't fix nonprofits, we co-design solutions with them to address key pain points. We don't have an open application process like others do. Rather, our potential grantees are discovered or identified by our partners. Our partners make recommendations based on whether that nonprofit is addressing the issue of equity, is working at a systems level, and is truly ready to benefit, because capacity building is a heavy lift. We promote the gold standard for funding, which is unrestricted, renewable funds. We have a 3-year grant cycle, and each year, upon reaching mutually agreed upon metrics, a new grant and a new 12-month action plan is designed. We also use an organizational capacity assessment so that we understand where to start the work and how to truly help the nonprofits that we get proximate to. So once we identify the grantee, then they have to complete the organizational capacity assessment prior to us dispersing any funds. Our partners are multi-generational. And they invest their time, talent, and their treasure. We believe that a huge segment of our population, children and retirees, have been left out of the picture. So we've built on-ramps for all ages to invest. The current philanthropic model has created a great deal of fear in the nonprofit sector. What we're trying to do is de-risk their need for improvements by coming alongside and prototyping and trying stuff without the fear of our funding being pulled. So hopefully you've seen this document and have signed it, and because it's a hugely important document about how we show up and the behaviors that we hold ourselves to. So we have to have a high standard of ethical behavior because our nonprofit sector and our movement deserves the best. Each partner is responsible to read and reread and keep this close, as well as sign it and then abide by it. There's 4 distinct parts for our code of ethics that cover our commitment to our grantees, our commitment to fiscal integrity, our commitment to the public, and our commitment to ourselves and each other. So we have to show up with integrity and professionalism, and our tribe members deserve the assist that we can provide to each other, as well as holding each other accountable. So we do take these commitments seriously. So what is a best-in-class tribe culture? Well, first of all, when we use the word tribe, we mean multi-generational, diverse groups of people who connect for a common purpose, a mission, or an idea. We intentionally meet to inspire each other, celebrate our collective progress, communicate opportunities, and provide ways to connect each person's strengths to change the current model of philanthropy. We believe our tribe is filled with people who want to leverage their time, talent, and treasure to support the communities they live in so that all Idahoans thrive. So here's the type of culture we're building in Idaho Partners for Good. A culture where iron sharpens iron. So in order to be best-in-class capacity builders, we have to constantly be improving our own craft and skills and while helping each other. So we're never stagnant. We've got to continue to push out of the comfort zone. The second one is collective wisdom. We are so much better together, and that requires diverse perspectives. So we need both book learning and functional learning, and both are honored and respected here. Human-centered design, because we are using it to build out our 12-month action plans and designing with our grantees. And then, of course, that self-sustaining model. If we're going to lead by example, we have to do the work ourselves. So in our case, our social enterprise of the impact team is our strategy for getting to a sustainable threshold. And so these are people who are independent consultants who come under our umbrella, and we deploy them into paid gigs, and then a percentage of the payment is retained by Idaho Partners for Good. So if you're part of a business that uses consultants, please consider using our impact team. So the last 2 years, we've done surveys annually to identify why people continue to be engaged. Well, first of all, I'll tell you, almost 100% in the last 2 years said they would continue to be involved in the next 12 months. So yay. And then these are the reasons why people are saying they want to stay engaged with Idaho Partners for Good. The first one is our culture of belonging, diversity, and multi-generational. This is an aspirational model. It's something that is new to Idaho, although it has 20 years of research behind it in other parts of the world. Our potential for impact is super, super high. The level of expertise we have is crazy deep, and it is really a testimony of the partner recruitment that partners recruit partners. We really are inclusive. We want all kinds of voices represented in our decision-making processes. We use innovation. That's just part of how we do stuff. And then, of course, our design thinking approach. So this is the end of Module 2. And so we invite you to click on the link in the classroom for the Module 2 reflection. Thanks so much for joining me.